Hi, my name is Stephanie Anderson and I am a foodie for Jesus. I also happen to be a mother of two boys under the age of 3 years old. As you can imagine, my husband and I have our hands full as we're trying to do our best as imperfect, sinful people trying to raise these two boys to be caring and obedient, and our biggest prayer for them is to be followers of the Lord. And it can be hard at times, and I definitely understand why people call it the terrible twos, because there's just this innate stubbornness. And I know there are definitely areas in my life where I'm incredibly stubborn as well. In fact, there's one recent situation that I want to tell you about that I really could relate to with my food issues. And this happened. It was a Saturday. I was home with the boys. It was just me with the two boys. I was in our living room. I was watching them. I was reading a little bit and just kind of having a relaxing day. And Abraham, we call him Abe. So Abe was he's the older one. He's just under 3 years old. He, and I have a prop today actually to show you, was on this little thing, which I don't know what it's called, but it is so much fun. I mean, I wish they had an adult size of it, but we call it his little scooter. So Abe was on his little scooter, and he's just kind of, moving along the floor and having fun. And Christian, our younger boy, who is a baby, he's still under the age of 1. He was sitting on a blanket on the floor and just playing with infant-friendly toys, putting them in his mouth and just kind of being sort of chill just there on the blanket. Well, Abe comes by on this scooter really close to his little brother. And I explained to him, I said, Abe, I need you to stay off the blanket where Christian is, because, we need him to be safe, right? And this little toy, when you're scooting around on it, isn't safe right next to your brother. So just stay off the blanket. So he kind of gives me that look like, okay, all right, Mom. What do you know? Next thing he does is goes right back on the blanket with this Scooty toy. So I thought to myself, okay, what am I supposed to do in this situation? So I told him, I said, I explained it to you. I explained to you not to go on the blanket, and he did it again. And so I said, Abe, you need to obey Mommy. So when we have a rule, you need to obey. If you do not obey, I'm going to take it away. You must obey or I'm going to take it away. And sure enough, what does he do again? He goes on his little scooter right next to his little brother. I mean, it was just a few inches from Christian's little fingers. And so I said, okay, get up, let me take this away. And I by no means am giving, I don't know if this is the right parenting thing to do. This is what I felt like I should do in this situation, but I'm by no means claiming to say that this is the, giving parenting advice or saying this is the thing to do. But so what I chose to do at that moment, I said, okay, so we're going to take it away. You didn't obey. So I put it up on top of the refrigerator where he could see it. So he knew it wasn't out of sight, out of mind. It was right there visible. And he's pointed to it, and he wanted it back. He wanted to play with it. I said, no. I said, trying to explain to him that, as a big brother, he needs to look out for his little brother, and it's not safe when he's scooting around his little brother on this little scooter. And so he didn't really like the idea of having this toy up on the refrigerator. But we left it there. We left it there for a couple of days. And when my husband got home, he was like, "What's that doing on top of the refrigerator?" So I explained to him, "Okay, this is what happens." We left it up there for a couple of days, and then when we brought it down, we explained to him. And since then, we haven't had that issue, which I am incredibly grateful for. Had other issues, right? He's a toddler, gets into things, but he learned from that lesson, and I also feel like I learned from that lesson. There are times with food where I need to obey or take it away, where if I cannot be obedient with the food, if I cannot eat it in a way that is pleasing to the Lord, that is not treating this food like some sort of an idol that obsesses my mind, I need to take it away. So there are times when I could eat something like just yesterday I had some cake. There was a celebration. I had a piece of cake and I enjoyed it and I was in the moment and I just thought about it in the moment. I didn't obsess about it later. I didn't feel like it triggered anything. It was a good, I could be obedient with that decision. And I also had eaten well, like made good food choices during the day. So I was able to have something sweet in moderation, and it was to me like it was as it should be. But there have been other situations, many times, where that one piece of cake would trigger me to want to eat the entire cake, or obsess about it, or wait until other people are out of the room and I can secretly grab some more, or it would trigger kind of me to want to just have a binge or do all sorts of crazy things and just get in my head and just again that idol and that idolatry that I had made food into, and that block that it has been for so long. So the obey or take it away is there are times in my life when I know it is better for me just to take it away, just not to have it. Because sometimes just having a little bit in moderation is not really an option. And in that case, if I am going to be obedient, if I am going to take care of my body the way that God has called me to, I just better not have any. And in some cases, it's giving things up for a day or two or 3 or a week or 10 days. In some cases, for some people, it's been giving something up indefinitely. In fact, until now, the closest thing I had ever felt to this type of freedom that I have now, which is hands down the most freedom I've ever felt. I just feel like a new person related to food. The closest that I had ever felt before was actually giving up sugar and flour for a little over a year, pretty closer to a year and a half. And I was following a food recovery program, and that was part of it, was just abstaining. And I had other issues. There were other things that I used to replace sugar and flour that were deemed acceptable foods for me, but they really shouldn't have been. But that idea of abstaining to have freedom, and abstaining so that I could be obedient with my food decisions. So I want to challenge you, whether you're in a situation where it's food or something else that's causing you to be disobedient, take a close look at it. And this is biblical as well. There's a verse that I've been spending quite a bit of time with related to this that I feel puts it very clear. And it's 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. And it reads, "Beloved, I urge you as sojourners and exiles to abstain from the passions of the flesh which wage war against your soul." Abstain from passions of the flesh which wage war against your soul. So people may not think that food could be this passion of the flesh, but you better believe for me that has definitely been a passion of the flesh, this desire that I had for something that I knew that wasn't good for me, and I wanted to do it anyway. So we're called here, abstain from it. So take a look at where that might be applicable in your life. Is it related to food, like my issue has it been? Has it been related to shopping and buying, whether it be online or in a store, right? I've struggled with that at times as well, not to the degree that I have food. What about things like pornography or sex or gambling? Or you could fill that blank in with whatever you could be struggling with, whatever could be your desire of the flesh. So I want to thank you for tuning in today, and I really look forward to next time.